This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 384, Celebrate Small Wins to Keep Financial Motivation Alive, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And I am your host and personal narrator, Dan. I'm here each Monday through Friday reading to you from the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And today's episode is brought to you by SendPro from Pitney Bowes. SendPro has 3 times the features of Stamps.com at 1/3 the price. Visit pb.com/finance to learn more and try it free for 90 days. After that, you'll get SendPro for only $5 per month. That's 1/3 of the cost of Stamps.com. And that special $5 rate is good for the lifetime of your SendPro subscription, but only when you sign up at pb.com/finance. For now, let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. Celebrate Small Wins to Keep Financial Motivation Alive, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. Building wealth is a long game. It's sometimes very easy to get discouraged as a result. Despite a lucky investment when I was 22, I felt very little pleasure having a large savings account in my early 20s. Money degenerates to just numbers on a screen that provides no utility unless spent. I was actually considering quitting my newfound job in San Francisco after 2 years in 2003 to live a vagabond lifestyle in Hawaii. Surf in the morning, massages in the afternoon, and Mai Tais in the evening. Can't be that bad. Thoughts of buying a Eurovan VW to go road tripping across the continent as I took showers at rest stops also crossed my mind. It's dangerous to receive a financial windfall so early in life, because there's a risk of saying f*** all to everything. You suddenly think building a sizable financial nut is so easy when it's clearly difficult in a short period of time. With a sudden injection of wealth, you may never achieve your potential because you simply don't bother trying as hard. After much deliberation and a perpetually drunk upstairs neighbor, I decided to buy my own property to get rid of my money. I was sick of renting and I was also unmotivated to work for money, a big problem if you work in finance. As soon as I plunked down the 6-figure check, I felt a sense of relief. Having no money never felt so good. Finally, I'm working for something more, I remember thinking after paying my first mortgage payment. Living in a nicer property instead of a dingy 1-bedroom was a reward for 4 years of hard work and risk-taking. Slacking off was not an option because if I did, I might lose my home. Perhaps the real reason why I love property so much is not so much for the returns, but for the refocus it provides. Mortgage debt saved me from being another know-it-all kid who throws his life away at the age of 26 due to a lack of patience and perspective. A mortgage was the anchor that kept me from blowing away. Years later, at the age of 32, my enthusiasm for work once again was beginning to fade. 10 years raced by after college, but I was afraid to go out on my own because work was all I knew. The dark side of early retirement was penned to make sure I wasn't falling into the same trap without any purpose. When the post was published, I was immediately bashed over the head by the early retirement community if you read the comments. Little did they know, my goal was to purposely bash my own crazy thoughts to make sure I wasn't missing anything before deciding to take the leap of faith 2 years later. Celebrate more often, please. Although I only made $1,400 from my Apple structured note, I could very well have lost $10,000 if Apple closed below $415 on the June 17th strike date. The stock is currently trading below $400 at the time of writing this post. Is avoiding a loss a win? I think so. With the small Apple win, I've decided to spend a good portion of the $10,000 I might have lost on seeing the world again. Travel is in my DNA. When you grow up living in 6 different countries before your 14th birthday, it's impossible not to want to continue seeing what's out there. There's nothing better than picking up local customs and learning new languages, even though I'm pretty horrible at linguistics. It's the idea of pretending to be someone else in a different land that excites me most. Each year since college, I've gone on some international adventure. Last year was Amsterdam, Helsinki, Copenhagen, Bruges, and St. Petersburg to understand the happiest people on earth. The year before that was Rome, Barcelona, Malta, Santorini, Olympia, and Istanbul. This year I'm visiting Majorca, Spain to understand how to find happiness within a country that has a 20% plus unemployment rate. Along the way, I'll spend a week in Switzerland to learn about their neutrality. On the way back, I'll stop over in Frankfurt for a day to experience German precision, beer, and bratwurst, of course. There is a part of me that believes the U.S. is slowly turning into Europe due to the growing size of our government. Structural unemployment will stay stubbornly high, tax rates will go up for everyone, and there will be less innovation as Americans learn to kick back more and live the good life. When was the last time something big came out of Europe or Canada? Exactly. I've seen the future of America through my experiences in Europe, and I've got to admit the future looks fine. If you don't have to worry about egregious healthcare costs, you'll be more adventurous. If you've got a huge government safety net that will provide you 70% of your last year's pay for a couple years no matter how much you make, you'll never need to engineer your layoff to protect your deferred compensation. We'll all be one big happy family that's full of socioeconomic equality. Before you criticize me for my optimism, I encourage you to spend at least a month in Europe and see for yourself. I'm a realist who accepts things for the way they are. Who doesn't like chocolate, cheese, beer, red clay courts, bikini-clad beaches, and a tradition of afternoon siestas? The European lifestyle is wonderful. Money is meant to be spent. There's really no point making money if you don't spend it on things you love. The key is to figure out how much you can afford in order not to come up short. Enter the savings guide by age on my blog to help keep you on track. Identify purposes for why you're saving money. Examples can include travel, a child's education, a dream property, a charity, or an around-the-world cruise for your parents. Financial freedom as a reason might not be specific enough. Everyone has to find their own balance. There's a risk you just might accumulate more money than you ever thought possible at a young age and pull the ripcord too early. By the time you realize it would have been better to balance out your spending and saving habits instead of going to other extremes, it might be too late. You just listened to the post titled "Celebrate Small Wins to Keep Financial Motivation Alive" by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And once again, this episode was brought to you by SendPro from Pitney Bowes. SendPro has 3 times the features of Stamps.com at 1/3 the price. They've negotiated special rates for SendPro users, and savings start at 3 cents per stamp. But not only that, you can actually print the stamps straight from your computer, saving even more money and time. You don't even need any special equipment to do it, and you don't have to install any software. You can do it all straight from the web. You can get a great deal through pb.com/finance. You'll get SendPro free for 90 days. You'll get a free 10-pound scale, and when your free trial is over, you'll get SendPro for only $5 a month, and that rate is good for the life of your SendPro subscription. So that's $5 a month compared to $15.99 a month for Stamps.com, which is 3 times the features of Stamps.com at 1/3 the price. Again, you can get all of that through our special link, which is pb.com/finance. And thanks so much for listening all the way through today. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the Friday show tomorrow. That's where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.